What up, Tube You? It's me. It's been a minute. We're gonna take a little stab at the long form content here, because I enjoy having a means of recording myself doing things that I can look back at them, because my brain doesn't remember everything. So here we are in Todd's toaster, the Element. It's a bit of a mess right now. Just got some camping supplies. We're gonna camp either in the back of this or, I don't know, somewhere.
Good morning.
I'm going towards Pagosa Springs right now. Gonna check out Piedra River. Piedra. Yeah, 420. 421 actually. Missed the magic number. But yeah, I'm about 15 minutes from some taqueria. We're gonna see if there are good tacos there. And the plan is, I'm hopeful that I can find a campsite that's close to the boulders in the Piedra River area. And my hope is just, I want to record myself climbing and what I get up to and publish it to the internet so that strangers can view it. Shit's weird. Anyway, that's the plan. I will record again when something interesting is happening, which is probably going to be me getting food. Great success. So I'm about 5-ish minutes from Taqueria Yum Yum, or whatever it's called. And I was just thinking, long form content. I want to talk a little bit about myself, share some thoughts, give my video diary a little bit of substance, some flavoring, if you will. I was working this week, and it's really interesting because where I live in Durango, Colorado. Recently moved here. Pretty fire. I love being back in the Colorado lands. I mean, just look at that nature. Oh my gosh, it is absolutely brisk out. Lovely. But I was thinking, like, it's really fascinating where one lives. I moved from the desert, and not like I was doing anything that wasn't fulfilling. Like, I was working the job that I wanted to be working. I was making enough money. And at the same time, the average temperature was so high that I was pretty much going from like air conditioning to air conditioning, or like up to the mountains where it was natural AC. And in moving here, it's been really interesting because I felt like some ease for myself. And I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about perception, if you care about that. Otherwise, skip. Because it's like, I don't know. I was thinking about it literally today. I'm wearing sandals. I'm wearing my Earth Runners. Not sponsored. I wish I was. Give me a sponsorship, Earth Runners. Fire shoes, by the way. But it's like, even in having the choice to choose what shoes I put on, like, I'm going to be more options. There's more abundance in that reality. Like the fact that I'm not going to like go kick a cactus, so I need to wear closed-toed shoes. And I just think that, like, it's kind of interesting, at least for myself, because I think I studied psychology in college, and I know I'm a whole mindset guy, and I think it's really interesting how, like, outside of what you do or try and think about while you're doing an action, like, just being in a specific place can really influence how one just even approaches things. It's like you're in a desert, you're going to look for water. You're in the snow, you're going to look for warmth. But kind of just in a more minor and toned down way, like how having a climate that is agreeable makes you, like, I don't know, a little bit more curious about outside. Or at least that's my thought. So, all of that said, I'm looking at these beautiful wild sunflowers, and I hope that anyone, if anyone sees this, I hope you go outside, and I hope you enjoy it, because I certainly have learned a lot outside. And yeah, this trip is, I mean, I'm inside a car. I'm gonna roll down the windows as soon as I end this, but it's outside. The idea is to get outside, you know. Anywho, catch y'all once I get my food. Yum. I gotta zoom out. It just burned the fuck out of my hand. Here to go. Let's go. That was a lot of food. I did not finish it. It's 5:30. So realistically, I'm like 30 minutes from the campsite, which is just a ways past the bouldering area. This is my controversial thing. There we go. Look it took me a Pacifico and a lime. But my thought is everything in moderation is okay. That's my controversial opinion. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, do it. Just have a plan. Have a plan for when you're gonna do it, and have a plan for a week after you do it, a month, and a year after you do it. Like, you know, think it through. But anyway, this is a very beautiful stretch. Might do another little time lapse. But yeah, to end this little 3-minute, it's gonna be a 4-minute segment. Yeah, just, you know, you really truly do only live once, as cringe as YOLO sounds. So, you know, like, do with that what you will. Like, I have spent so much time watching YouTube when I could have been doing other things, and some of those videos have stuck with me, and not all of them have, you know? That doesn't mean that I should be, like, hard on myself for choosing to opt out of things to watch YouTube. Like, here I am. You know, like, overuse and abuse, it'll weigh on you, and it'll make you feel different. So if you feel like you're indulging too much, maybe listen. But if you've, like, you know, if you've never climbed a tree, and you really want to climb a tree, but you're scared, the fact of the matter is, you might need to climb that tree. Anyway, we'll see what all of this is like. I hope I'm still en route. I was pretty sure that I was just supposed to stay straight after I made that turn. But yeah, we'll holler back when we're in the back country. I don't know. You know, I've decided what my controversial topic that's going to make me go viral is. It's going to be lying to people in my thumbnails. Anyways. So I'm going to let that fellow there pass me. I know how I'm doing in my own, and I'm also like 22. I'm gonna be 23 this fall. So I've done a very small portion of it all. But yeah, I think that something that's been really helpful for me, like getting out of my teenage years, has been practicing habits. And like, I don't want to just like say that generally, because I think that, you know, anyone can have a habit. You could have a habit of drinking and smoking. But like specifically stuff like getting used to having a work schedule, or like if you have homework and you're deciding to pursue higher education, like setting a time schedule where you're doing that work as well as doing the things you need to do to survive. Golly, here, I'm going to turn this around. Whoop. You know, people say, to be a vlogger, you need this whole expensive setup. No one says that anymore. So many people just record on their phones. But yeah, I really do think that, like, just having schedules or being able to recognize whatever schedules it was that worked for you, you know, worked or didn't. Like, I didn't like school. I don't think that conventional, you know, get up, be in the classroom at 7:30 in the morning until 4, like, that wasn't my favorite. I didn't enjoy it, but it worked, you know. Like, there was something about, like, needing to be somewhere at 7:30 in the morning and having the autonomy to get there myself that, like, it made sure that I got up every morning and made breakfast for myself. And I got to think about, like, now, you know, I'm going to go camp and whatever. Like, I can think about those things because my plan is tomorrow, well, I'm going to get up by 7 a.m. because it'll be light out at 5:45 probably. Yeah, habits are a thing. And, like, also recognizing, like, I think a lot of it, at least for me in this stage, is recognition. It's like just trying to open my eyes to stuff. Because I think in, like, your formative years, you know, it's like you've got, when you're little, it's like the people that raise you or your parents, whoever those people around you are, and then it's going to be like the immediate circle, whether that's friends or neighbors or classmates, and then it's going to be, as you gain that autonomy, like your own circle of, like, oh, you have whatever club, whatever friend group that decides to do activities. Should focus on the driving a little bit, but golly, look at that. It's probably just going to focus on this hummingbird, but I'm stoked. Might have missed my turn. Probably not. Anywho, yeah, I think, like, so, you know, you've got your different circles, your different groups, and as you age, you know, those groups reward you differently. And I think for me, being able to recognize, you know, how, I don't want to say like how each group or how each person serves me, but it's more like what I get out of being in a specific circumstance. Like, but yeah, so like, just for me, like, knowing where I get my fix of good feelings. And there are certainly points in time where it's like, I just want to hang out with people and not necessarily be hiking a mountain or going on a big epic journey adventure. But having the cognizance to, like, distinguish and delineate when certain things are a good idea, I think really helps, or has helped me start to navigate the general direction in which I want my life to go. Oh, that is, you see that fork up there? I might not be focused. Whoop. I love dust in my car. Yeah, that's definitely my right turn. What you could call what I'm doing, to talk a little more about myself, is like, it's kind of like mediocrity, some could say. Here we go. We're going to get back to surviving your 20s. So, like, I work 2 jobs part-time. I dropped out of college 2 years ago. And, yeah, I did that for a part-time coaching job that paid me a little over minimum wage. Because I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a psychologist. I was studying psychology in Mexico. It's kind of funny. The original reason that I left the U.S. for Mexico was, like, my girlfriend at the time dumped me, and I worked a job, and she lived out of town, so I was in high school, so I, like, worked all the time and didn't hang out with my buddies so much, so I was, like, pre-life crisis, essentially. It evolved into something a lot more beautiful. I'm gonna let this guy pass me. Yeah. So I dropped out of college. I worked a part-time job, moved back in with my parents. When I went to college, I effectively moved to Mexico and learned Spanish so that I could afford it, because I did not have enough money and was scared to take out loans. And now I work, and I'm expecting to make about, $20,000 this year. Next year I'll make a little more because I just moved. I'm working for a family member, and another part-time job coaching at a climbing gym. So the reason I say all of this is because it's like, like I've heard and I've had different attitudes about where I'm at in my life, like sometimes I feel like this is exactly where I want to be. I'm getting outside. I'm doing what I want to do when I want to do it. Other times I'm like, dude, you could be doing so much more. You know, you like learned another language and then you gave it all up for what? For minimum-ish wages. And I talked a little bit about the environment that you're in and like abundance. But I kind of wanted to elaborate on that, talk about like, you know, how abundance and what one's attitude can do and how it can impact, you know, your reality. Because I think like on the one hand, I'm any other dude. Everyone is just any other dude or dudette, right? I think the important thing about seeing and recognizing that, right, back to the whole recognition thing, is, you know, like grounding yourself and anchoring yourself in like what you know about yourself. Or even like if it's just like you don't know anything about yourself, you watch TikToks all day and you don't know who you are, like what do you watch your TikToks on? Are you curious about something? Like ask a question, you know? It was interesting for me to go from like studying this thing that I was really passionate about to coaching a sport that I was just getting into. I haven't climbed for a very long time, even though my parents were climbers since before I was born and tried to get me into it. I was a really obstinate kid and didn't appreciate their efforts until well after I moved out. Oh, here come the sprinkles. Yeah, we'll see. Glad I filled up my gas. Super righteous over there. I might want to come back at some point and check that stuff out. But yeah, you know, like I went from studying something that I was really passionate about to like teaching kids how to do something that I enjoyed, you know, like I went and climbed after my college classes in Mexico. Like it was a hobby and I turned it into a job. And I guess here's another controversial opinion. Making, you know, your passion into your career is a beautiful thing. And I think that at this age for me, like making my existence based around like how much money I made doing something that I enjoyed really made my like the way that I viewed myself. Like I need to be a better climber because then I'll get a better pay, or I need to know how to route set because then they'll give me a raise, or I need to know more about weightlifting and strength training theory and how muscle groups work so that I can give more private lessons. And I think that all of those things are true, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to recognize those possibilities. And if you don't have other means of like anchoring your like yourself, you know, your well-being, financial or otherwise, it can get dangerous. So again, back to the whole everything in moderation. You know, go make your hobby your job. Make it your side hustle though. Have 15 jobs for all I care. All right. You like some squeaky windshield wipers? Pretty freaking cool. Bang. We are not at the campsite. We're at a trailhead. Bear spray. I just spent $40 on it today because I don't actually own any. And I just kind of didn't bring any. And I have it in the car. So that was an oops. My windbreaker is functional at best, but if we get like a big spout, I'm not going to be the happiest feller. I'm not the happiest Johnson from Johnsonville. So anyway, yeah, it's really nice. And welcome back. You hear that? You see that? We're not at a campsite. I wanted to come camp. I did not want to come pay money to sleep somewhere. I do that already. It's called paying rent. You know? And back to the whole mindset thing and abundance thing. How to survive in your 20s. Just recognize what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. I got type 1 diabetes. I love food. It's in my blood. What can I say? So I'm willing to compromise and spend more money on food, you know? That right there. Oh my gosh. Hello? Immaculate. Yeah. Catch you, for real. Bang. What do you say about that? What you know about it? It's humble. But like I said, for a man my size, completely functional. Got a little fire pit out there. This is all free, which is kind of funny. You know, there's a surviving your 20s life lesson. Sometimes you just got to read the signs. And when the sign says you got to pay $27, sometimes that means you got to turn around. And if you do that, occasionally you'll get rewarded with this. Not always. Look at those bird nests right there in that aspen. That's not an aspen, is it? Well, in case I don't know. Oh, let's turn it. How about that? The current plan is have a fantastic, fabulous night. Wow, I could have just done this the whole time. What about that? What you know about that? Yeah, have a fabulous night. And wake up when the sun comes up. Make some coffee. I have enough espresso to make one pot, which will definitely get me through the day. Oh, I didn't bring a travel mug. I have like these little bowls. I'm not going to grab them right now, but I have these little bowls, but not like a good hiking mug. Yeah, so I'll do that. I think I'll go back, scout those boulders, look at those boulders, feel those boulders, climb those boulders maybe. Eat my leftovers. Anyways. Yeah.